Its front left mudguard. Second to boil was the R5 Fiesta of Sam Moffat. The Monaghan ace had local navigator James Fulton guiding him through the tricky Cavan stages.
100, turn hairpin left, drive it. 80. 5 left in on crest, 6 right, 150 to the bottom, 4 right plus, 130.
Championship leaders Roy White and James O'Brien were quickest out of the blocks in their Fiesta WRC, but after setting fastest time on the opener, they clipped a chicane bale on stage 2 and were back to third overall after stage 3. Just 7 seconds behind in another Fiesta WRC was Dara O'Riordan. It was the Corkman's second event with the new navigator Andy Hayes, and the pair seemed to be gelling well. A further 7 seconds adrift in 5th place was the Fiesta R5 of Josh Moffat and John Rowan, who completed a top 5 dominated by Fiestas. The more cumbersome Subarus were struggling to keep pace with the nimbler Fords, and Niall Maguire lay 21 seconds behind in 6th.
Lap 2 left, here go 200, and at the top, 5 left, very sudden turn hairpin right around the house. 240.
Leading the two-wheel drive section in his 2.5-litre Escort was Monaghan's Gary McPhillips. He and navigator Paul Sheridan were 8th overall despite some slides and scrapes on the opening loop.
Gary, I've just caught you in service. How are you getting on?
No, we're going well. No, I'm happy enough now today. All's going to plan. We've done a few changes in the car from the last rally with springs and suspensions, and I'm very happy with the way it's handling. So the car is working well, and it's giving me more confidence and go that bit harder.
With the bodywork of his Subaru Impreza restored to its former glory after a mishap in the last round in Carlow, local man Stephen McCann was cautious on the opening loop as he tried out a new setup and Pirelli tyres. He held 9th overall.
Fast 5 right at the top, we cut, and you've 60 out of it, crest, and caution, 2 left over crest jump, watch the grass, 40, dip, 1 left 80, 5 left.
Despite intermittent power steering issues in their Class 13 2-litre Escort, Damien Tourish and Donald McElhaney were 10th overall and 2nd in the two-wheel drive standings. 4 seconds behind in their 2.5-litre Class 14 version were Damien Toner and Denver Rafferty. Back in a McKinstry-run Subaru S14 WRC after almost a year out of rallying, it's no surprise that Seamus Leonard was a bit rusty on the opening stage. He stalled at 2 hairpins before slowly getting up to speed with the technology. He held 11th overall with navigator Paul McLaughlin. Less than a second adrift in their similar machine were Kevin Barrett and Sean Mullally.
Straight crest, 80, middle over crest, 100, care, crest 40, turn hairpin right, late, and sign, bail inside. 80, stay right for 1 left, straight crest.
Leading Group N after the opening loop were defending champions Aidan Ray and Kieran McGrath in the Mitsubishi Evo 10. Second in class was the Mitsubishi Evo 9 of Trevor Bustard and John McCafferty. Former Group N champion Shane Maguire was 3rd in class, with Matt Kearns navigating in their similar machine.
Fast 4 right over the crest, around the bale, and the flat 1 left 40, and flat 1 right over the crest 60, and middle on big jump into a flat 2 left, flat 2 left, and flat middle on small crest 60.
Back into service after the opening loop, and it appeared that technical gremlins were rearing their heads again for rally leader Declan Boyle.
On the pace, but just coming into the roundabout there on the road section, the car won't go up the gears again.
Problems
again. Hard work.
So while the Boyle camp tried to find the cause of their issues, elsewhere in the service area, local man Gary Kiernan was having trouble of his own in his quest to win the Class 13 Paddy Kiernan Memorial Trophy in honour of his late brother.
Gary, talk me through how you're getting on.
Well, we had a good enough stage 1 time. We were leading the class. Stage 2, we had a huge moment. We were lucky we weren't wrecked. And then stage 3 I spun, so we've lost the class lead, but happy enough still to be here at this stage.
Another local driver in the hunt for class honours was Jenna McCann. With brother Stephen leading Class 15, Jenna was controlling Class 2 in her Ford Fiesta R2.
Jenna, you are leading Class 2. It is brilliant to see a girl out there putting it up to the boys.
Yeah, of course, yeah. Someone has to show them who's boss, you know, so it's good to see a girl out in the middle of them all, you know.
Absolutely. And what drew you to rallying? Is it something that runs in the family?
It is. It goes way back. My father and my uncle started back in '95, and it grew from there, and my father kind of passed it down to myself and my brother Stephen, so it's kind of bred into us, I guess you'd say, yeah.
And while Jenna led Class 2 in her Fiesta, it was a Fiesta lockout in the overall top 5 too, with Declan Boyle leading the way after 3 stages.
The sun is shining here in Cavan, creating the perfect driving conditions and giving competitors a great advantage to take on these challenging stages. Join us for more action after the break.
Tip. Welcome back to Cavan for part 2 of the Hotel Kilmore Cavan Stages Rally. The previously clear skies began to cloud over in the afternoon, but conditions were still perfect for rallying. Declan Boyle had an almost perfect drive through the second loop of stages, setting fastest times on stage 4 and 5 to increase his overall lead to 18 seconds. But when Pater Herson spun his Subaru and got jammed in a ditch, Boyle was held up for 14 seconds. His lead was down to just 4 seconds after stage 6. No problems for second place Sam Moffat and James Fulton, who created a good cushion of time ahead of third place over the middle loop.
40, 5 right, and cut 4 right plus. 40, cut 4 left plus. 60.
Despite improving on his opening loop times, Roy White was losing ground to the front 2 and lay 23 seconds behind in third. Unfortunately, Dara O'Riordan retired from the 4th place spot when his Fiesta slid wide, mounted a bank and broke a steering arm. There was a new leader of the 2-wheel drive contingency, courtesy of a blistering second quickest overall time on a slightly dampened stage 6 by Damien Toner, who took over from former leader Gary McPhillips. McPhillips was 10th overall and trailing Toner by 4 seconds. Third 2-wheel drive and 12th overall, Gary McKiernan was back in the lead of Class 13 in the hunt for the Paddy McKiernan Memorial Trophy. So with one more drive through the stages remaining, it was back to service for some final checkups and, if you're lucky, some cool treats in the sun.
I have to say, the sun is shining. It's good to see you have a treat.
It's a day for an ice cream is right, yes, absolutely. It's very, very hot out there. It's really warm in the car. That last loop, we had a wee bit better. We spun on the last stage venue and jammed in the back, which didn't do us any favours, but we're still learning the car. Still a bit more to come out of the car.
Declan, you're home in service. How are you getting on?
Not too bad. We're still in the lead, I think, by about 4 seconds after stage 6 there. We're held up on stage 6, so I don't know if that time's going to be amended or not. Hopefully it will, and if not, we'll have to just keep going and see how we get on.
The fans were in position for the final loop, but before that we turn to the class winners now, and taking the historic win in their BMW were Belfast crew Malcolm Pedlow and Ivor Ferguson. In the hotly contested junior class, Sean McGrath and Ger Clancy had been holding second place until this stage 3 mishap forced early retirement for the Cork crew. Jason Black's first ever rally proved an enjoyable one as he and navigator Sharon Clark finished 5th quickest juniors in the Toyota Starlet.
Into a 2 left, and it's only 80 into your 5 right past the farm at the Chevron. 130 out of this is your 5 right, and 130 out.
Declan and Brian Brady took 4th place in their Honda Civic. Junior winners from the last round, Colin Roach and Ger Foley, had to settle for 3rd in class in Cavan. Michael Boyle, son of rally leader Declan, extended his lead in the junior championship as he took runner-up spot with navigator Dermot McCafferty. Local driver Gary McNamee was delighted to follow up a non-finish at the last round with a win on home soil with navigator Kieran O'Donoghue.
Gary, home in first position in the juniors, you must be delighted.
Absolutely delighted to win it here on my home event as well. So it was a tough rally and tough stages, so everything went to plan, and I was winning from start to finish, so couldn't be happier.
To the main classes now, and with points up for grabs in both the Triton Series and the Sligo Pallets Border Championship, Rory McCaffrey took the Class 1 win and moved into 3rd in the overall Border leaderboard. Jenna McCann took her 2nd Class 2 win in a row and maximum points for both championships.
Long press, straight, and press half, bottom 100. 100. And turn 5 left in. Turn 5 left in. 5 left in. 5 left in. 60. 60.
Packy Duffy and Evan Hughes coped well with some late changing weather conditions to claim the Class 3 trophy in their Honda Civic. 3rd in Class 4 and 22nd overall was just enough to keep Shane Maguire and Mac Kearns in the lead of both the National and the Border Group N title races. Donegal's Trevor Bustard and John McCafferty took 2nd in class and 17th overall in Cavan. Aidan Ray and Kieran McGrath took a convincing win and finished 14th overall in their Evo 10.
Aidan, you're home in first place with the Group N, you must be delighted.
We're happy with it now. We had a really good run today, so we did. We sort of set good times in the first loop and sort of tried to hold it together through the day, but really happy with it. We got more points for the championship as well.
Aaron McHale and Paul McGee took the Class 5 trophy and finished 11th overall in their Skoda Fabia Super 2000. Kevin Barrett and Sean Mullally took 4th in Class 7 and finished 8th overall in the Triton Subaru WRC. Seamus Leonard and Paul McLaughlin finished 6th overall and 3rd in class in their similar S14 WRC. 9 seconds ahead and 5th overall and 2nd in class was the S12B of Pater Herson and Damien Conley. Niall Maguire and Enda Sherry did well to claim the Class 7 trophy and finished 4th overall after launch control issues encountered on the afternoon stages. Ray Cunningham stole a march on the absent Lloyd Hutchinson to move into the Class 9 lead with 3rd in class in Cavan. Damien O'Reilly and Damien McCabe took 2nd in class on their home rally and lead Class 9 in the Border Series. Fellow Cavan crew Gene McDonald and Cavan Riley won Class 9 on their home event. Padraig Connolly and Kane Traynor won Class 10 in their Peugeot 106. Cormac Phelan and Katya Owl changed from their Citroen C2 R2 to a Honda Civic for Cavan and finished 2nd in Class 11F. But it was a convincing home win in Class 11F for Cavan crew John McCabe and Niall McGoharan, who had more than a minute to spare on Phelan at the end of the day. In Class 11R, Jason Toohill and Ben Taggart brought their Escort Mark I home in 4th place.
1 right, 2 left together. Crest, 40, 5 right and 5 left. 150 down. The square right, watch the gravel on the rough, watch it breaking now.
Martin McPhillips and Kieran Tynan took 3rd in Class 11R in their Toyota Corolla. Johnny Jordan and Owen Gallagher survived a few close calls in their Starlet to take the runner-up spot in Class 11R. Taking the class win and the Triton Showers Drive of the Day award were Seamus Connolly and Gary McCrudden, who lead the overall Sligo Pallets Border Championship.
Oh, it was a tough day now. We're leading it there, and I was push going all day. See, we're missing a back bumper and stuff too there, so it was tight going. Just goes to show you, it was a tough old day now. We'll have a good share now when I get home.
In a hotly contested Class 12 battle, Vincent Collins and Fintan Kilroe took 5th place in their Mark II Escort. James Castey and Lisa Rowe finished 4th in Class 12 in their Pinto-engined escort.
100 over crest. Fast 3 left past hedge, 100 downhill. Turn square left, don't cut, 100.
Third in class was the similar spec Mark II of Brian Armstrong and James Logue. Alan Atchison and Thomas Wedlock took maximum Class 12 points in both National and Border Series, but finished 2nd in class on the day to unregistered crew John Gordon and Niall Tierney, who won the class and take home the Gordon Automotive Pinto Challenge Trophy too. 6th in Class 13 was enough to maintain Sean Liston and wife Katrina's lead of the Class 13 Championship. Paddy Boyle and Cavan McGovern finished 5th in Class 13 and 18th overall on their home event. 4th in class and 16th overall was Monaghan crew Mickey Conlon and Kieran McPhillips. Finishing one place better was fellow Monaghan crew Raymond Conlon and Darren McCaig in the Toyota Corolla. Tommy Doyle followed up his 3rd overall WRC debut at the last round in Carlow with 2nd in class and 13th overall in Cavan, with Liam Moynihan calling the notes in the Renault Clio R3.
And long 6 left times to 5, this stakes, watch your 5 now, watch your 5, slowing 50, narrow 3 right minus.
After a determined drive to retake the Class 13 lead, Gary Kiernan and Ryan Moore kept their cool in the final stages to finish 10th overall, and more importantly to Gary, win the Paddy Kiernan Memorial Cup in honour of his late brother, who was himself a fine rally driver.
This is what we want to do. We want to win this trophy. We had to push on all day, trying too hard maybe at the start, and we settled in better on the second loop, and we built up a steady enough lead. Damien Tourish there was beating us after stage 3. It was unfortunate enough he didn't get back out, but Tommy Doyle finished in behind us there, so happy enough we just kept him at bay for the rest of the day. So
Means an awful lot to you. How are you going to be celebrating?
I don't know yet. See, can I get off work tomorrow?
London-based Irishman John Reddington and navigator Paddy McCrudden followed up a good result at the last round in Carlow with 3rd in Class 14 in Cavan. Trevor Mulligan and Sean Haid finished 2nd in Class 14 and 12th overall. But taking the Joe McGirt Memorial Trophy for Best Class 14 crew were Gary McPhillips and Paul Sheridan, who finished 9th overall.
Gary, you're home in first place in the Mark II. You must be delighted.
Yeah, no, I'm thrilled to get the result today. Now, we had a couple of shaky rallies there this last couple of weeks, so no, I'm happy. We're a great result and good clean run.
A fine drive in the Subaru Impreza netted the Class 15 trophy for local man Stephen McCann, who finished 7th overall, with Kerry man Damien Fleming calling the notes. Isle of Man crew Colin Quirk and Chris Cayley won Class 20 in their Mitsubishi Evo 10. Back to the hunt for the overall rally win now, and there was drama on the final loop once again for leaders Declan and Brian Boyle, who were forced to retire with alternator trouble in the Fiesta WRC. This promoted Josh Moffat and John Rowan into 3rd overall, a great result considering their Fiesta R5 had overheating issues that left them down on power. Taking the runner-up spot and the power stage bonus for the 3rd event in a row were Roy White and James O'Brien, who strengthened their overall championship lead after another consistent drive in the Fiesta WRC. But taking the overall win at the Cavan Stages Rally were Sam Moffat and James Fulton in the Fiesta R5. It's Sam's first win in Cavan, and no doubt an especially sweet one for local navigator James Fulton.
It's been a tricky day now, very good stages, and a few showers towards the end there definitely made it eventful, but yeah, no, glad to get here, and well done to James and the whole team as well, and Tom. And it's James's first time in 27 years as a Cavan person to win the rally, so it's great to do that for him. So
Roy, the power stage under your belt, a huge points haul for the championship.
Yeah, no, it's great to get the maximum points here today. We're over the moon with that. You know, it was a big ask to come away here for maximum points, and you know, Declan was very unlucky with his alternator problem. But you know, we were here to pick up the points, and for the championship, we need to be in it for a long haul. So we're over the moon.
So as the curtain closes on another successful Hotel Kilmore Cavan Stages rally, we take a look at the overall standings at the halfway point of the season. Roy White and James O'Brien extend their lead to 15 points over Niall Maguire and Enda Sherry, with Pater Herson and Damien Connolly still very much in the mix.
Celebrations are well and truly underway here as Sam Moffat takes the title here in Cavan, but it's Roy White who keeps the lead in the overall championship. Join us next time when we head to Meath for the ALMC stages. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you then.